tax forms and everything like that. I do usually like to save a lot of my time for Q&A because I know there's a lot of questions that are usually asked about this topic. And so just an intro, my name is Jeff Badu. I'm a licensed certified public accountant. I was born and raised in Ghana, came to the US when I was 8 years old. And fast forward, I attended the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, where I received my bachelor's degree in accounting, as well as my master's degree in accounting. I went on to become a parallel entrepreneur and a wealth multiplier. I'm the founder and CEO of Badu Enterprise LLC, which is a multinational conglomerate in the finance industry. And our main company is Badu Tax Services. And that's the firm that provides tax preparation, tax planning, and tax representation services to individuals and businesses across all 50 states in the US. And we also have clients that are physically based in over 25 countries at the moment. Ultimately, I'm very passionate about financial literacy, and my purpose in life is to inspire and support the super hungry to take hold of infinite resources in order to create an abundant lifestyle. All right. And before we get into the topic, anybody who's looking to work with us, maybe you're looking for a new tax professional, maybe you've never worked with a tax professional before. We are a CPA firm, and so we are open for services and everything like that. So in case you need somebody to assist you with your taxes, you have some tax needs, that is something that we can assist you with. And so in the chat, please be on the lookout. You'll see a link at some point throughout the presentation, right? You'll see a link in the chat that basically takes you to a 1 to 2 minute questionnaire, just a quick questionnaire that allows you to get to know more about our firm, right? Or pretty much a questionnaire that allows us to get to know you better. And so it's just 1 to 2 minutes. You can fill out your information, and then our team will reach out to you within 24 to 48 hours with the next steps, consultation, all that good stuff. All right. So today I've been tasked to talk about trust tax returns and tax tips. And basically, what we're looking at on the screen here is the trust tax return, the 1041. It says, I'll do you one better than your typical tax return, which is the 1040, which everybody in the US has to file. All right. Now, usually the significance behind the one is that, yeah, I'll do you one better, right? I'll do you one better. And then number two, this form was usually historically only available to the 1% of the world. The John D. Rockefellers of the world, the Mansa Musas, the Warren Buffetts, the Jeff Bezos. Those were the only types of folks that had access to such a form because you had to have a certain amount of wealth for it to make sense for you. But thanks to Christina Yvette and the 7 Ways to Wealth team, we now have access to this form where we can amplify our wealth, protect our wealth, transfer wealth, and be able to do it in the best way possible. So if you're talking about creating wealth in the best way, one of the best ways to do it is through trust. All right. So what we're looking at is the 1041 form, which is the form for U.S. income. It's the U.S. income tax return for estates and trusts. All right. So both estates, those who unfortunately have passed away, and then also for trusts, those who have a trust, like everybody on this call today, who are in the trust community. All right. And basically the top of the form would state the year. So this is 2025. And so the assumptions here are that you form the trust on January 1st of 2025. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put the dates. You're going to put this is going to be a calendar year. So you're going to put January 1st, 2025, December 31st through December 31st, 2025. That means your calendar year. That means that you operate from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. That's when your books are recorded, basically, your income and your expenses. All right. So for this one, usually we're dealing with irrevocable trust. So irrevocable means that you have to check the box called complex trust. All right. Complex trust. And that's in section A. Then you go down on the form and you fill in the name of the trust. So this is an example, right? The John Doe Irrevocable Business Trust. Then the next one is you put not your name, but you put the name of the fiduciary, whoever the fiduciary, aka the trustee of the trust, which can be you as well, right? But in this case, this is a third-party trust company that this trust is hired to oversee the trust, the affairs of the trust. So this would be trust company A. Then you put the address of the trust company or the trust, not your address, but the address of the trustee or the fiduciary, the address of the trustee of the fiduciary. And in this case, it's 123 Main Street. We're based right here in Dallas, Texas. And so I'm putting here Dallas, Texas, and then, the country zip code. Now, I mentioned Dallas, but we do business in all 50 states. And so we do provide services in all 50 states. To the right of the form, we're going to put the EIN number. Since this is a trust, a new business entity, a different entity from you as an individual, you have a separate identifying number, a tax identification number issued by the IRS, Internal Revenue Service. So you're going to put the EIN number here. Then you're going to put the date the trust was created, in this case, January 1st, 2025. All right. Then the number of K1s, assuming that you're the only beneficiary, the sole beneficiary of the trust. Then you're going to use, you're going to put one, check the box initial return, which means this is your first return. And that's how you complete the top section of the return. My advice to you is don't try this at home, right? Please don't try this at home. It can be a little complex. Trust taxes are a pretty complex area when it comes to the tax return. Of course, Christina Yvette and the 7 Ways to Wealth team will guide you as to trust formation, trust documentation, and all that good stuff. When it comes to the tax returns, this is where I would recommend that you bring in an expert, somebody who's familiar with trust. And so our firm, Badu Tax Services, we're certainly familiar with trust, and we can assist you accordingly when it comes to the trust tax return. All right. And so the way that we usually set this up is that we have a business trust, a family trust, and then a ministry trust. 3 trusts, basically. Now, you can have sub-trusts and all that good stuff, but let's just say a business trust, which handles the business affairs of your organization, your ecosystem. Then you have a family trust, which handles the family affairs, the personal affairs of your organization, your ecosystem. Then you have your ministry trust. That's more for your charitable affairs, your charitable organization, ecosystem. All right. And so when you get involved in trust, you have to trust yourself in that you are now operating as a business, right? You no longer operate as an individual. You no longer do things in your personal name. You do things as a business. You have your business trust, your family trust, and your ministry trust. All right. Your business trust is going to basically handle the day-to-day affairs of your businesses. So let's say you have a main hustle. Let's say we have a lady by the name of Brianna. She's a real estate agent. And her main hustle, her main income source is through her real estate brokerage, her real estate agency. All right. So with that, you are going to basically, she has an LLC that owns her brokerage business, but the business trust owns the LLC, right? The business trust ultimately owns the LLC. So when she files taxes, since the LLC is a single member LLC, taxes are sole proprietorship, it's going to file its tax return here on the 1041 using the Schedule C, the Schedule C. So it's not going to file a separate tax return. It's going to attach a schedule known as the Schedule C to report the income and the expenses of that particular business. All right. Now, my advice to you is that for any business you have, you want to create a budget at the beginning of the year, and you want to track the budget and basically analyze the budget, monitor the budget throughout the year. This is going to be extremely important when it comes to the trust. All right. And the next thing is, let's say that Brianna, she's a real estate agent. She owns rental properties. She practices what she preached, and you should always do that, right? And so she owns a few rental properties. She owns 3 rental properties, and she has an LLC for each property she owns. Right? But the business trust owns each of those LLCs. And so she's going to use the Schedule E to report the income and the expenses of the rental properties. Each property is going to have its own Schedule E. Then she does some stock trading on the side. And so she sells stocks, she buys stocks. All right. And she's going to utilize basically the Schedule D for her stock trading business. Now, let me just clarify a few things. Does her real estate brokerage have to be owned by the LLC? No, it does not. It can just be owned by the business trust. That's fine. She can do business directly in the business trust. She did it that way to give her some extra protection and also to separate things more so that she can separate her books and records more. All right. And then her properties, does she have to have a separate LLC for each property? Absolutely not. She can have the business trust own the properties, right? That's completely up to her. This is just how she decided to set up her structure with everything. She does own a farm, a small farm, chickens and cows and things of that nature. And so the income and expenses of the farm are reported on the Schedule F. And yes, you guessed it, she has a separate LLC for the farming business as well. All right. She has sold, she did sell a property throughout the year and then she bought another one. And so she's going to attach Form 4797 to report any ordinary gain on that sale. Now, the thing is, if it's a long term, if she owned the property for over a year, then she's probably going to use more of the Schedule D. The 4797 is still going to report, pretty much any capital gains, mainly like for big assets like real estate. So she is actually going to end up using that form in conjunction with the Schedule D as well to report her sales, her sales, basically. Anything she sold, she accounts for the sale on those respective forms, the Schedule D and the 4797 form. All right. So her business trust owns all of that stuff. She doesn't own anything in her personal name, right? Her business trust owns her real estate brokerage business, her three rental properties, the stock trading business, and then her farming business. Now she has LLCs that own those respective assets, but who ultimately owns it, it is the business trust. All right. And who ultimately owns the business trust? It's of course her. All right. And so this is where you'll notice that you're going to use different schedules to report the income. So you have multiple attachments to this 1041. All right. And then any interest income that you earn on the trust, you're going to report it here on line one. And so let's say she has a bank account in the name of the business trust. She's going to report the income that she earns there, the interest income. And then we go down to expenses. She does have a loan for the trust. So she's going to report any interest paid on the loan on line 10. Taxes, she does pay a little bit of, let's just say for her, it's not going to be applicable because she follows the format when it comes to how to best set up and structure these trusts from a tax standpoint. She does have a third party fiduciary, and so she pays fiduciary fees. That goes on line 12. And the money that she donates to her ministry trust, she does have a ministry trust, that goes on line 13. And I'm going to explain what that all means here in a bit. Then she hires us as her CPA firm. And so anything she pays us goes on line 14. And basically, she also has a budget for her family trust, and that pays for her home mortgage, her medical expenses, and then some other miscellaneous personal expenses that she has. All right, where is that going to go? That is going to go on line 18, basically, line 18, and that money that she distributed to her other business affairs, her family trust in this case. In the perfect world, line 23 should be zero. Your taxable income should be zero. And that means your total tax should also be zero as well. So that's a little bit about the form. Now let's actually put this in practical terms. All right. So Brianna, she's a real estate agent. She's hustling and bustling. She's doing the thing. And, she's making some good money. So for her, across all her businesses, her brokerage, her real estate brokerage, her rental income, her farming income, her stock sale income, she makes $500,000 a year. And all of that is ultimately controlled by her business trust. So she's going to report it all on her business trust tax return. She has expenses, she has rental property expenses. She has her day-to-day brokerage expenses, right? Her cell phone, her AirPods, water that she drinks to stay hydrated during meetings, right? Watches, suit jackets, car, trips to Bora Bora, all that good stuff. She's going to run all of that and pay all of that through her business trust. All right. Her farming expenses, her stock trading expenses. So she's able to pick up $400,000 worth of expenses. Now she has a budget for each business, and everything ultimately flows to her business trust. All right. So in total, when she tallies everything up, she's able to net out $100,000 once it's all said and done. All right. Here's the thing. If she left that money, if she left that $100,000 in the business trust bank account and did nothing with it, she's going to pay a tax of 37%, 37%, which is the highest tax rate for trust. All right. So that means that she'd be caught holding the bag. Her tax liability would be $37,000 that she pays to good old Uncle Sam, the uncle we never knew existed in our families, but is usually the first person with the biggest plate at the Thanksgiving table. All right. And so for her, she said, you know what? I would rather not do that. I would rather put my money to work. Right. I've already tapped out on how much I can invest in the stock market, real estate, her business, and all that. So she wants to be able to divvy it up into multiple buckets so she doesn't have to write a check for $37,000 to good old Uncle Sam. All right. So what she does is she creates a budget for her family trust. Her family trust will show that she spends $75,000 a year in expenses for her family, her personal life, and her mortgage. Right. She has a nice house, so she pays a mortgage every month. She basically, you're probably curious about what about her car? Her car is going to be in the business trust. The car is owned by the LLC that owns the brokerage business, and the LLC is owned by the business trust. So her car is actually going to be affiliated with her business trust because that's a true business asset. All right. When you have a home, usually the family trust is the best to handle the home. All right. And then the same thing for medical expenses. You know, she does have like pretty much she has some other things, some other miscellaneous expenses. And so she discovered that her budget would tally up $75,000. So what she does throughout the year, she's going to transfer money that eventually totals $75,000 from her business trust account into her family trust bank account so that she's not paying taxes on the 75,000 anymore, because the 75,000 is going to cover expenses such as her mortgage and her medical expenses. All right. So that's one way she can avoid paying taxes on $75,000 out of the $100,000 of net business profit that's left over. All right. Then the money that's left, she's tapped out on what else she can do. So she said, okay, well, I have this ministry trust and I do want to be charitable. You know, I want to give back to the community, as we all should, right? Pay it forward. And so basically, what she'll do then is money that's left over from her business trust and her family trust, the difference, she's going to donate it to her ministry trust. And with the ministry trust, it does, any money you send there is tax deductible. Right. So she's going to write a check for $25,000. She's going to transfer $25,000 from her business trust account into her ministry trust account. And all of a sudden, her total transfers, her total contributions, distributions equal $100,000. So now that her taxable profit is going to be zero because she sent out all the money to where it belongs, she no longer has to pay an income tax on any of that money that she's divvying up. So as you can see, this requires you to be pretty meticulous. This requires you to have a budget. This requires you to make sure that you're tracking things. Do you have to do this on your own? Of course not. You can have a bookkeeper. You can have somebody that keeps your records, helps you with the budget and everything like that. You should be meeting with your bookkeeper frequently, you know, at least quarterly at a minimum. You know, because this is all important stuff, right? This is your money that's on the line. And so you want to make sure that you're paying close attention to it and you have the right people in place to help you manage that money. All right. And when we say transfers, it's interchangeable with the word distribution. When we say transfers, it's interchangeable with the word donation. So it all means the same. And so basically, this is in a perfect world how your trust would operate. Now, in terms of the tax returns, the only entities that file the return is going to be your business trust and your family trust. Your business trust and your family trust. Your ministry trust is not required to file a tax return because churches and religious organizations are exempted from filing tax returns in the United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave, the beautiful country of America. And so only 2 tax returns will be required in this scenario. Right? You would think you would need like 10 tax returns or 5 returns. No, you don't. Brianna has it set up where it's not a simple structure, right? call it complex for a reason. But she simplified it enough to where it makes sense for her and she's able to follow the money fairly seamlessly. All right. So, in a perfect world, this is how your trust should be set up. With that being said, I always like to save enough time for Q&A. We got 29 minutes or so for Q&A. And so in the chat, you should see a link to a questionnaire, just a 1 to 2 minute questionnaire that allows you to get to know more about us and then us to get to know more about you. So you just fill it out, right, with your name, email address, what type of businesses you have, all that good stuff. And then once you're done, once you hit submit, we'll reach back out to you within 24 to 48 hours to basically, take you through the next steps, go over a consultation, all that good stuff. And so with that, let's go ahead and open it up for some Q&A. So for the Q&A, you can either unmute yourself and ask your question, or I'm sorry, you can use the raise hand feature. Then once you're called on, you unmute yourself, ask your question. And then you lower your hand and then you go back on mute once you're done. Or you can also type your question in the chat. And so, appreciate everybody for that in advance. So let's go through some questions real quick here. Let's see. Tam says she's looking forward to our services. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Tam. Appreciate that. And then Myron says, great. Absolutely. And then Kenji says, as you mentioned, vehicles are high risk. So would the structure be to make a trust for vehicles and have the family trust own it? So one thing I do want to clarify, I did not mention the word that vehicles are high risk. So those words did not come out of my mouth. In general, are vehicles more high risk than other assets? Yes, they tend to be. But the reason why we're putting it in the business trust is not because it's high risk, is because it's a business asset. You're using it for business purposes. You're driving to and from different business locations. You're conducting business transactions. You're meeting with people. All right. So that's why we're basically putting it in the business trust. Do you need a whole nother trust just for the car? Not necessarily. Can you? Absolutely. So be it. That's your call. That's your decision to make. Family trust, can a family trust own the car? Absolutely, it can. For me, we often advise our clients basically to have any direct business assets to be owned by the business trust, like a car that can be driven to and from business locations. All right, so I'll get back to the questions in the chat. Let's give Jennifer Mincy an opportunity to basically unmute, and please ask your question, Jennifer.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Doing good, Jennifer. How you doing today?
Wonderful. Great information. So excited.
Appreciate that. Absolutely. I'm excited for you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So my question is, if we're not quite ready for your services yet, do we still fill out the form?
I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, so here's the thing. Sometimes in life, you just got to get started somewhere, right? You may not have all the tools. You may not be ready. You may not feel you're ready. Maybe you are ready, but you may not feel you're ready. I would say that it doesn't hurt to, at least get that initial step going. Sometimes in life, you just got to start. You just got to make the jump. 80% of success is showing up, 20% is showing out, right? And so, to answer your question, Jennifer, you don't have to,
But how
but
would
I think
we
it's a
how
good
would we
step.
make contact with you if we didn't fill it out?
I mean, you can call our office. We do have a phone number. We do have our website, right? BaiduTaxServices.com. And you certainly would want to make sure that you let us know that Christina Yvette and the Seven Ways to Wealth team basically sent you. We do like to have that form because it's going to make it easier for us to get to know you. Those initial questions that we're going to have for you, we can answer those with the questionnaire. It only takes 1 to 2 minutes, right? And so it's an opportunity for us to have that foundation, just that baseline. And then from there, we'll be able to meet with you and get what we need to get done for you.
Okay.
All
And you
right.
did mention that the family trust could pay your mortgage, medical bills, etc. Is
Mm-hmm.
that right?
Absolutely. That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
All righty.
Yeah, no,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Kenji. I'm sorry, no problem, Jennifer. And then also, one of the reasons why, because I've had this question before, like, hey, why can the family trust pay the mortgage of, the property? What answer to that question is, who owns the property? Is it you or is it the family trust? Answer is the family trust should own the property. And if the family trust owns the property, shouldn't the family trust be obligated to pay the obligations and the expenses of the family trust? 1000%. So that's why we claim things like mortgages and everything like that on the family trust books, because the family trust owns the asset. That's the key. If the family trust does not own the asset, it should not be paying for things tied to that asset. So that's one of the secrets. That's one of the keys to ensure that the family trust owns the asset. Life insurance, by the way, another thing you can put into your family trust. All right. Right now, please go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, thank you. I was just wondering if you could quickly just talk about land trust and holding companies. It seems like there's another level before going from the LLC right directly into the business trust, and then the
Mm-hmm.
business trust going directly into the family trust. I was just talking to somebody, I thought I had it in my head, and they're like, no, 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 your property needs to be in a land trust before
Mm-hmm.
it goes. And then your properties need to go, the LLC needs to be under a holding company
Mm-hmm.
in order for this to work right. So it's confusing, but could you explain those two levers? Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that right now. So this is the topic I try to stay away from, but since you brought it up, let me just go ahead and mention it anyway. So here's and right now, just to clarify, is this a personal property or is this a business rental property?
It will be business rental properties, right?
Okay.
So, as I understand, you may not want them all in one under one LLC, so it's under separate LLCs. Those
Mm-hmm.
LLCs, I thought, would be owned by the business trust, and then the
Mm-hmm.
business trust owned by the family trust. But then I was told, no, you should have your properties each in land trusts before they go to the business trust, and then so just confusing to me. So
Yeah, definitely. No, I totally get it. Yeah, it is a whirlwind of confusion and things, out there. And that's why, you have this Christina event and the Seven Ways to Wealth team. So I do strongly advise whenever you have questions like that, please bounce it off of, Christina so that she can clarify. So this is just a sample of what I've seen as far as the structure. So basically, the you have, let's just say you have three rental properties, right? And so what I would say is that, yeah, the owner would be the land trust. The beneficiary of the land trust would be LLCs, so separate LLCs. The beneficiary of your LLCs would be your business trust. All right. And then beneficiary. So let's just stop it there, right? In that we know who, I mean, whoever the beneficiary of your business trust is who you named as your beneficiary of your business trust, right? So basically, you're
right.
gonna have three layers right now. In that owner would be land trust, beneficiary of the
Mm-hmm.
land trust would be the LLC, right? Separate LLCs. Then a beneficiary of the LLCs would be your business trust. All right. Does this help right now?
Okay, so the land trust is a what is that entity? Is it like a holding company for rental properties, and then the holding company is something else? These I don't know. I thought the land trust was just the business trust. I thought that was just another name because you're
Mm-hmm.
putting properties under the business trust. But
For
it
sure.
seems like the land trust is a whole nother thing, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, the land trust is a holding company for the properties, basically. Right. So it is the holding company. So yeah, I mean, it just gives you another layer. That's all it is. So here's another way you can do it. You can make the owner of the property the LLC, and then the beneficiary of the LLC, you would pretty much just get rid of this. You just get rid of one layer, one extra layer. And then here's another way you can set it up. You can do it this way too. So you have three layers here. Let me make this a bit more clear. Let's do this. Yeah, so you basically have, so it's 3 layers, 2 layers, or 1 layer, pretty much, right? And so the first one right now is what you're referring to. What if you brought in a land trust? That would be 3 layers. All right. Then what if you just did without the land trust and just do LLCs and business trusts? 2 layers now. Then you say, you know what? I already got a business trust. What if I just did it without all of that stuff? 1 layer, just the business trust. So you can do it either way. This is preferential. Um, Basically, the more layers, the more the protection.
You said the
The
third, the
more.
third one is preferential. You said number 3 is
So it's
preferential.
it's completely up to you, right? It's up to you what you decide to do.
And from a
Um,
tax perspective.
Taxes, nothing changes. Nothing changes
Okay.
from a tax standpoint. This is all just legal stuff.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. So
Thank you
if you
so
want
much.
simplicity, yeah, no problem. If you
Mm-hmm.
want simplicity, type 3 is for you. You want people to go through a billion hoops before they get to your property, type 1 is for you.
Gotcha.
Right. Yes,
Gotcha.
indeed. Absolutely. Thank you for that
Thank
right now.
you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, no problem. And then Kenji, please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, well, going off of hers, and I apologize if I repeat anything because I had a distraction like right during the section. But
No worries.
as far as could you have a land trust and then have it go directly under your business trust?
Of course. Yeah, you can. These are all things
Okay.
that are up to you, right? So
Now,
you can own it yourself in your individual name if you wanted to. So the answer to these questions usually, or the questions isn't usually can you, it's usually should you. That's the real question. So can you? Yeah. Yes, you can. Absolutely.
should I?
I would say that's going to be for Christina Yvette and the team to give you that
Okay.
direct answer. They're going to be more expert when it comes to that precise question because they know you as far as from just from a structure standpoint. And then once they set up the structure, that's where I come in and help you with the tax component. Tax difference, it makes zero difference, all this stuff.
Would the tr this might not may or might not be in your area. Would the land
Mhm.
trust be an irrevocable trust or a revocable trust?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, land trusts, I would say they're usually revocable, right? So they're usually revocable. Um, but at the end of the day, if you have your business trust, it's going to be ultimately an irrevocable because the business trust is the one that ultimately owns everything, basically.
Okay. And I was
Yes,
looking at
indeed.
her thinking about how Christina was saying that vehicles are high liability assets and things
Mm-hmm.
such as that. So
Mm-hmm.
you want a layer of protection from that. So put the vehicle in a trust and then put it under your master, what I'm gonna call a master business trust. So is there like how you have land trust? Is there a vehicle trust?
Yeah, I mean, you can create a trust for anything. You can create a trust to buy, as silly as it sounds, a cell phone, right? And so that's completely up to you. A trust can basically own anything. Whatever you say the trust should do and own, it can go out and do it.
Are
And
there
so
any
a trust is
templates
almost, uh-huh.
specifically for vehicle trust and specifically for land trust?
Yeah, I'll save that
Mackenzie,
question for Christina. Go
Mackenzie,
ahead.
let's stick to tax questions for Mr. Jeff Badu, please, respectfully.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
I'm gonna jump into Q&A in just a moment.
Well, I got
Absolutely.
one last question about the tax thing because yesterday when I asked my question, right when I asked my question, my signal
Mm-hmm.
broke up and I couldn't hear anything. So I'm gonna repeat the question.
Mm-hmm.
When you um put money into your life insurance, will that be considered a tax deductible event?
Yes, if it's owned by the trust.
Okay. What if it
That's the
what
key.
if the insurance policy is owned by the trust?
Yeah, that's exactly the answer, right? It has to
Okay,
be
if
owned
the
by the trust,
insurance
the
policy is
policy.
owned by an individual, would it still be tax deductible?
No, that would be an incorrect structure. That's where you want to make sure you switch the paperwork to ensuring it's owned by the trust. Because here's the thing. Why are we able to write things off through a trust? Because the trust owns it. If the trust does not own it, it technically can't write it off. So you want to make sure
Okay.
it's owned by the trust.
And so after I take my insurance policy and put it into the trust,
Mhm.
say I do it this before January, then
Yep,
at that point I can go ahead. And is that only for the payments I've made after I've put it in the trust? Is that
correct.
correct?
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Thank you for that question. And let's go to Renaud. Renaud, please go ahead and ask your question. And then we'll get to the chat here. Looks like you're muted, Renaud. We'll get to the chat here after Renaud as well. Looks like you're muted, Renaud.
Okay, I wrote that earlier. You answered my question, so thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Can
Yes,
you,
indeed.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Hello? All right. Um, you may have just answered my question. Thank you so much for answer questions and giving us your expertise. Um, this may be a question. You may have just answered it in the last section here because this has something to do with structure, I believe.
Mhm.
I'm trying, I have two business, two LLCs, and both of them are in my name. However, my wife is an ordained minister who has a W-2.
Okay.
So you mentioned before that you want all the monies to go into the business trust. Would I do the same thing with her income as well? Um, or do I have to somehow add her to one of the LLCs?
Yeah, that's a great question. So W-2 income, unless the W-2 is owned, here's the key thing, owned. It's all about ownership. If the trust owns it, trust pays for it, trust receives it. If the trust does not own it, trust does not pay for it, trust does not receive it. And so if the W-2, usually W-2s are issued to a personal name. So yeah, you don't want any ties whatsoever to the trust at that point. So
Okay, so that
you don't put
income,
the money directly into the business trust. It goes in the personal bank account at that point.
the personal bank account. Okay, all right, that answers
Exactly.
my
Now you can
question.
transfer it and move it into the different trusts if you wanted to after the fact. But usually an employer, right? You have a W-2, it's in your personal name. So at that point, then yes, it would stay in the name of your account name, basically. And then you
Mhm.
can transfer it after the fact, unless you somehow find a way to have the W-2 issued to the trust. Then at that point, the money goes directly into the business trust bank account.
I see. All
Yes,
right,
sir.
thank you much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for that, Ronald. Great question for sure. And let's go back in the chat real quick. Let's see here. Let's see. Brian says, Tam says great info. Thank you for that, Tam. Brian says, do we need to keep our receipts from places like grocery stores, Amazon, and anything we buy for accounting for the family trust household, even if it's a private entity? Yes. Even though it's a private entity, you still got to file a tax return, which makes it public to the IRS, right? And so, can we have part of the budget going towards entertainment for the family, like trips, video games, clothing, dining out? Yes. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So the answer to those questions, yes and yes. You should keep your receipts. This is a game. This is something that you want to be very meticulous. This is not, if you want to be precise, you want to make sure that you're on point when you're dealing with this stuff because it's complex, right? It's not your everyday thing that you see out there, right? Less than 1% of the world knows what we're even talking about today, and so when you're dealing with such high prestige and such high magnitude, you want to make sure that you cross your T's and you dot your I's. Documentation is very important when you're structuring this. All right. Tony says, what do you do if you want to sell the car after you put it in a irrevocable trust? I'm not sure where that question is really going, but I mean, if you want to sell it, yeah, you just sell it, right? Sell it in the name of the trust and get rid of it. There's nothing really special when it comes to that. You just sell when you sell it. Since the trust now owns it, the trust would be the seller of record. That's all it is, right? Joseph says, great answer, very encouraging. Thank you for that. And a shout out to Ivy who put the link Anybody who wants to take this offline, you're like, hey, you know what? I want to work with a professional, work with the tax professional. Yeah, please use that link. All right. Joseph says, we have tax work to do. We may not be ready, but this family has encouraged us to get going and trust we will work through it. Thank you, Christina and team educators. Amen to that. Thank you for that, Joseph. Glad that we're an inspiration for you to get this thing going. Sometimes you just got to get started. You just got to get started. All right. We all got to start somewhere. Brian says, if our cars are in separate trusts owned by the family trust, are those separate trust beneficiaries of the family trust? Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, absolutely. Or can the family trust be the grantor of the separate trust? I would think so as well, right? And so that's going to be a Christina question. I would think so, that the answer to both would be yes. All right. Myron says, I need more information on this after getting everything set up. My advice to you, Myron, usually there's some recordings, there's some resources that you have. So my advice, look through those resources. Be a self-educator, self-learner, a self-starter. You know, sometimes this information now becomes available to you. So what you got to do is you got to find ways to enhance that information. You may have to listen to this 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Constant repetition tends to lead to mastery of the information. And information without application is absolutely nothing. It means nothing. And so once you get the information, right, you also want to make sure you apply the information, that you're actually doing something with what you're listening to, and that you're not just, sitting around and not taking action. You want to take action on what it is that we're sharing with you today. All right. It's very, very important information. All right. Tanner says, move W-2 money as donations to the ministry trust. Yeah, you can. Just please make sure you have money to pay the bills as well. Right. Just make sure you have money to pay the bills, your business trust, your family trust, ensuring that those have the respective money in the accounts to pay for the various expenses of the trust. All right, Tam says facts, absolutely. Brian says thank you. Tony says thank you, absolutely. Ivy shared the link. And then the more you listen, the more you will pick up even more gems. Absolutely. Constant repetition is the key to mastery. If you want to master something in life, you got to repeat it, 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, 10,000 times. Michael Jordan, why is he the greatest basketball player of all time? It's because he perfected his craft every single day. Now, he didn't spend all his time practicing. He still had to take action. He still had to show up to the gym and to the games. But nonetheless, during his off time, he's practicing. He's perfecting his craft. You can do the same thing here. You don't have to spend 10,000 hours learning stuff, but you got to learn it just enough to where you understand it, you comprehend it. And if you ever need clarity, you're asking for the clarity that you need. All right. And so that is definitely some word to the wise, right? Some wisdom in the room. And let's go into more Q&A. We got about 5 minutes left for Q&A. Anybody have any questions, please? Any other questions? You can raise your hand, please, and then use the unmute feature once you're called upon. And then we'll go ahead and answer your question. All right. Anybody with any questions? Let's give it a quick second here. All right. Myron did say he has. Yeah, and I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Appreciate that for sure. Yes,
Can I ask
indeed.
that question? It
Yeah,
appears
go
from
ahead, please.
I looked at your questionnaire, so I'm going to follow up and I'll try to
Amen.
get some help from your team. It appears
good.
that you're pushing us towards, once we get structured through 7 ways of health, we might have to readjust the way our spending habits are in our business. I had a question for corporations. Do some of them also ask for a second, like an audit or a forensic audit if we're trying to get loans or something from the government or whatnot? And if so, does your organization do both parts, not only the CPA and the tax preparation, but do you also have somebody else to do the audits?
Yeah, that's a great question, Pete. Yeah, we don't do audits. We're primarily a tax and an advisory firm, but we do have a referral partner that can assist you with an audit. Now, to answer Brian's question too, we do own a bookkeeping company, Badu Bookkeeping LLC, which is affiliated with Badu Tax Services. So yes, we do own a bookkeeping company. If you're looking to do your own books, QuickBooks, check out QuickBooks. QuickBooks Online, the very, very best in the industry. And one advice, each business should have its own separate QuickBooks account. All right. And so to answer your question, Pete, we do not offer audit services. We're not an audit company. We just try to stay away from that service, just student preference, right? It's just not our preference. I used to be an auditor, by the way, at PwC. But I transitioned into being a tax professional, right? Just found it more, just, just more rewarding, just something I love. And so, yeah, we don't necessarily do audit services, but we do have a nice referral partner that can help you with that. But we do bookkeeping, tax services. When you fill out that questionnaire, that's part of the services that you can list that you need help with. All right. So thank you for that, Pete. And hopefully I answered your question, Brian. And then Myra says, I have a very complex property. I can imagine that's a Christina question. Let's go to Kenji. Please ask your question.
Curious about how much does bookkeeping typically cost?
It depends. So I usually don't like to go over rates and all that in a meeting like this today, but I'll just say this. Starting off, you're probably looking at 400 a month, right? 400 a month. But this is where you want to complete that questionnaire so we can get to know more about you specifically, and then we can dedicate that time to meet with you to get to know more about everything that you got going on so we can see how we can help you. Maybe bookkeeping is not a good service for you right now, right? That's a determination we'll help you make once we get a chance to meet with you. And that first step is completing that questionnaire that Ivy generously posted in the chat for us. All right.
And this might be outside of your range since you say you do not do audits, but I figure I'm creating a huge tax stuff, issue throughout the years, whatever. Would it be a good idea to go ahead and try to do an audit, get that cleaned, any previous things cleaned up so that way going forward, you don't have any issues or?
So the answer is no. Instead, just get a bookkeeper. Just do bookkeeping. An audit is a
Okay.
third-party report. Somebody comes in, calls your banks, verify the bank balances, calls your customers, verify their receivables, calls your vendors, verify their payables, right? And so it's a very tedious, a very in-depth process. And it's very expensive too, and so you don't have to go that extent. Simply get somebody to review your books. So that's bookkeeping. That's a bookkeeper who does a retroactive look of your books and then also prospectively helps you with cleaning up your books moving forward.
And
All right.
just the scary incidents in the event I were to be audited, but how far back do audits go?
3 years typically. It can go back 7 years if there's anything fraudulent that's discovered. And so usually it's 3 years though.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. And I do want to emphasize that the best way to get in touch with us is using that link that Ivy shared in the chat. It just takes 1 to 2 minutes. Literally, we're putting that in the chat, just 1 to 2 minutes. And this way you can share more about what it is you're looking for, how we can help you. The more we have that information up front, the more we can be a resource to you, the more efficient we can be when we speak with you. So the best way to move forward is completing that link, just 1 to 2 minutes. That's it. And then from there, we'll be able to assist you accordingly. And so with that, we're coming up on time. I'll pass it back to Christina and the 7 Ways to Wealth team. I appreciate everybody for joining, everybody for listening to this important information, right? My advice, take action, what you've listened to. And, I'm more than happy to help you. Thank you, Christina. Love the dance.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for pouring into the community. Thank you for breaking down such a complex topic. We appreciate you so much for just being that pillar when it comes to trust taxes and all kind of taxes, LLCs, corporations, you name it. Jeff and his team can handle it, okay? And he is, like I said, our trusted resource. Not a lot of CPAs have experience with filing the 1041. Okay, and that's why you have people that are confused and they ask questions that are confusing because they are not familiar and they look at it and they're like, do you really need a trust? Right? And so sometimes you're even talking to individuals that don't have a trust themselves, but yet you are taking advice from them. So without further ado, I want everyone to come off mute and let's give Jeff a big thank you for him being
Thank
able
you,
to take
Jeff.
out an hour of his time to
Appreciate
Thank you,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
good.
Thank
you,
you,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Super
Yes,
duper.
indeed.
Thank you.
Appreciate you all.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
everybody go ahead and click the link
Thank you,
that's in.
Jeff. This is Dina.
Woo, Dina!
Hey, Dina. They did.
Yes.
Shout out to Dana.
So everyone, please go ahead into the chat. Let's follow the protocols here, okay? The protocol is for you to click the link inside of the chat. They have their own form of how they want that intake to come in, okay? There is an abundance of you guys, and they are a team, so they want to be able to have everything prepared when they meet with you. So go ahead and click the link that's inside of the chat so that you can put that little bit of information is going to take you what, 60 seconds, maybe 120 at the most. So go ahead and click that link so that they can get familiar with you. The team will reach out to you and you can begin the process to evaluate what your tax structure looks like so they can get you back on track. Okay. I have talked to the CPAs that work with our community members, and some of you guys, it's a hot mess. Okay. And so they are really, I promise you, you know me, I'm a talker. I talk every single day. I promise you. Okay, Jeff's team, they contacted me. This is a hot mess. Let me help your community member out. That is why they are a resource. That's why they are one of the pillars here, one of the valuable educators here in the workshop. Okay, it's undeniable that they're getting you on track when it comes to taxes. Why do you think I always refer you back to Jeff when you ask me tax questions? I'm like, we're talking to the CPA, okay? Now, if you have trust questions, you come to me, okay? So without further ado, thank you, Jeff. We appreciate you so much. You have an amazing rest of your weekend. I know you be catching flights, you and your wife, so go ahead and enjoy. And
Yes,
the
indeed.
community will be in contact.
Amen to that. Thank you, Christina. Thank you to everybody for pouring the time into yourself and your education, investing the time to yourself, your education. It's important information. I'm telling you, less than 1% of the world knows what we're talking about today. But the most important thing you can do is take action. Take action. Get that jump start going. Click that link in the chat. Get your trust started. Reach out to Christina's team. Take action, because when we take action, that's when the information truly becomes valuable. All right. So thank you, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of the Friday, great weekend. See you all, and bye-bye for now. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Absolutely. Appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate you too. All right, awesome. So let's go ahead and open up the floor for Q&A so that I can answer any all questions that you guys might have. But first, let me go ahead and let you know what we did today. So today we applied for our EIN for our private family trust. We went over the asset inventory list so that we can take an inventory of our assets, including the human assets, which are you guys. And then I showed you how to transfer real estate into your trust, how to transfer vehicles into your trust, and how to transfer your businesses into your trust. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and open up the floor for Q&A so that I can answer any and all questions and provide clarity on the spot. So who has a question? Go ahead and raise your hand if you're able to come off mute. All right, Jennifer.
Hey, Christina.
Hey, hon.
I just have a couple of questions. The first one is, do I need separate addresses and phone numbers for each trust?
Okay, that's a wonderful question. And I love when people ask me that question. So best practice is for you to have separate everything, because these are separate entities. These are not the same entities. So you want to have separate addresses and phone numbers. That's best practice.
Okay. And also, I was working my way through the family trust documents, and I noticed that there are references to both board and board of trustees. Is that normal in the family trust?
Yes, we did go over that on Tuesday. So the family trust has a board of trustees. So the board is the board of trustees.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
You're welcome, Jennifer. All right. And who is next? And I will definitely go into the chat as well. All right. So Gary.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh no, go for it. Go for it, Gabriel.
I have a question. So, does the
Yay.
second trustee have to sign the documents as well?
That is a wonderful question. So the second trustee only has to sign the certificate of trust. That is the only form. So the entire indenture only requires the first trustee because the indenture has to be executed before the second trustee is nominated. So the certificate of trust gives that person authority, and that's the only form that they have to sign.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. So Gabriel, her son turned 14 yesterday. His name is Rajon, right? Is that how
Rajon.
Rajon? Okay, so
Yeah.
happy birthday to Rajon. All
Thank you
right,
so much.
you're welcome. Okay, so most virtual address companies provide registered agents. That is true. The next question is, can I verify that an amendment of an organization has been made on the state's website? So you do have to search for the entity, and then on once you have access to the entity on the Secretary of State, then you're able to see if an amendment was processed. So the amendments are actually a part of the public record. So everything is a part of the public record. So you have to look up your specific entity and see what has been processed as far as an annual report or as far as any amendments to the articles. The next question is iPostal the registered agent? So no, iPostal is for the virtual address. So it's not them automatically being a registered agent. And then Nikenji was asking about the vehicle trust. Yeah, so you want to put provisions inside of your family trust. So you can use the family trust. You have to understand that the family trust is for personal assets. A vehicle is personal property. You can put the vehicle into that type of trust. So you would just create a separate family trust and you would just put the vehicle in there, okay? So let's see here. And as far as assets going into an irrevocable trust, you can sell any asset that's in an irrevocable trust, okay? So whenever you have these whenever you have these questions, you always go to the governing instrument. So if you want to know, hey, can I sell an asset that is in the irrevocable trust? Go to the governing instrument. It will tell you in the governing instrument that you're able to sell and liquidate. Okay, so if you weren't able to do it, then it would say in the governing instrument that you are unable to. Okay. All right, next we have Ray. Hey, Ray.
Hi, just quickly, the family trust and the business trust, the grantor, I told the grantor they did not have to open the bank account, and they insisted that yes, they did. So I'm just saying, first trustee can open up the bank accounts after the grantor gets the EIN from the IRS. The grantor got the EIN.
Yeah, so we spoke about this yesterday when we were going over banking procedures and operations. So I did mention to you all that based on the bank that you choose to establish a banking relationship with, they will ask for a personal profile for the grantor. They will ask for a personal profile for the trustee. So those individuals' names is not on the actual account. The account is for the trust and it's under the EIN. But due to their policies and procedures, they want an internal profile for those individuals.
No, I'm saying either or, that I didn't know if both had to go to the bank together. That's the issue.
So
It's not a problem, but I just wanted to know if I could go or if I had to take the grantor with me.
you do not have to take the grantor with you. The grantor doesn't have to be present.
That's what I thought.
So yeah, but how is the grantor going to provide their information? So it's over the phone. So the banker has to call the grantor, or if you have the information to provide.
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right. That I just wanted to clear that up. Thank you, Christine.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Dina has a question.
Yes, my question is, Can I do both of the amend both of the LLCs on the same day?
Yeah, absolutely. These are separate entities. That's no problem.
Uh-huh. Okay. And I wanted to transfer or change over into the trust my personal account. Would I be able to do that? I was gonna
That's
go and I was taking a certificate of trust with me.
Okay, that's a wonderful question. So I would tell you that you want to keep a bank account in your personal name. And what you want to
Uh-huh.
do is you want to transfer those funds into
Uh-huh.
the trust fund account.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so just in case, right, just in case anytime in the future you need to do a transaction in your personal name, you have a personal bank account.
Got it.
Instead of
All right.
instead of
So
instead of shutting it down, because some people they have gone to that extent where they have closed their personal account and then in the future they're like, oh, I needed it. I have to now go open up a new a new personal
new
checking account.
account. All right.
Right. And that entails there's some way that you're still having your name and social tied to certain things, and those third parties might issue you a check or something of that nature. Thank you, Miss Dina.
Uh-huh.
All right. So Brian in the chat says, I tried to join Telegram, but I cannot get the link. Is that a known issue, or is it likely that is something on my end? So when you said I cannot get the link, so Ivy, can you please post the link to the Telegram chat so that Brian is able to get the link, and then we will have Billy reach out to you to get you access. I'm not sure if you already tried to join and weren't given access. So that's also a thing, because we have a private Telegram chat and we have found that the link was shared with people that are not in the community. And so if your username is not the same username that we have in our system, right? So if your username on Telegram doesn't say your first and last name, then there's no way for us to know that you're a community member. And so we are not going to approve you. And so the team is going to reach out to you. They're going to send you a private message on Telegram so that you can provide the name that you have registered in our system with, so we can give you access to Telegram. So for those of you guys that are having delays with Telegram, that is the reasoning. It's 9 times out of 10, it is the username. So also the recordings are only showing the first day. So, okay, so Ivy, can you please check on the recordings to make sure that all 4 days are available? And then the next question is, what do I say to an insurance agent to get my first IUL started? And if I want to use it as funding the vehicle ASAP, but I am starting with very little money from the W-2 job. That's a wonderful question, Brian. So I am licensed. There's several people on my team that are licensed, and we are able to structure the IULs for you. So I will have Ivy drop the link inside of the chat so that you guys can have that conversation with me and my team regarding how to get the IUL started, okay? We had spoke about IULs all of yesterday, so if you were unable to attend the session that we did on life insurance yesterday, then please go ahead and watch the recordings. And I will also put the replay inside of the chat for you guys in just a moment. Can the business trust start an LLC? Yes. So the business trust can form the LLC and be the original owner on the articles of organization for the LLC, okay? It doesn't have to be a natural person. Can the secondary trustee be a grantor? The grantor cannot serve in any other position, including the second trustee. So the answer is no. The second trustee can only be the second trustee. So the next question is, once we're done with the workshop, how do we get additional help? So you are going to give us a call. You are going to go in Telegram, Facebook, and then you are going to email us at support@sevenwaystowealth.com. So those are 4 forms of communication where we are able to provide the necessary support after we're done with the workshop. Next, we have Pete. Hey, Pete.
Hey, back. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
All is well, all is well. I really appreciate your patience with us as we're winding down.
Oh,
Um,
it's
the
my pleasure.
majority. Okay, yeah, you seem to have a passion. You're loving this stuff, but you're
Oh, I mean,
spark.
I've been doing these workshops for years. I'm so used to
Ah,
it. I literally can have my eyes closed and just talk to you. No, I really do. I promise. I don't know if you've noticed that sometimes I'll just be drifting away and talking because I'm talking from like the head and the heart. I don't have to even look at anything. I'm just getting it from here.
right. So you're not even reading it. It's memorized up here. That's crazy.
Everything's in the database. This is my CPU. Everything is right
I
here.
we see.
Yeah, and do you know that the workshops have been the same? So they're identical. So every single workshop is identical, and I do it every single month. When we first started doing the workshop a couple years ago, we were doing it every 2 weeks.
Ah, poor
Yeah.
thing. Man, we got to find a way to clone you.
Please do.
Well, with that said, I want to
Yes,
unpack
sir.
three things you said because you're prompting more questions. Number one,
Yes,
so
sir.
your curriculum, if we're not these quick learners, are we able to jump back in another session to
I cannot believe you asking that question, Pete. First of all, I don't know why you don't know this, but you have lifetime access. So that
Oh,
means you can attend for the entire year. We do it every
okay.
single month. So our next workshop right now is scheduled for August 3rd to the 7th. So you have lifetime access. Okay, so we want to see
Nice.
you in August, September, October, November. Let me ask,
Oh.
so Ms. Dina, how many workshops have you attended? Edgar, how many workshops have you attended? Right? They're like it's designed, Nikki,
Okay.
Nakenji, how many workshops have you attended? It's designed for you to come back. The reason being is because retention is the key to this whole entire thing, right? You have to be able to listen to it more than once for you to be able to get it. We don't want you to be stuck. And the way that you're going to get unstuck is by getting into this workshop. So we
Wow.
want to see you in August, September, October, November, December. Keep coming. And
Okay.
then
So you got some
another thing,
lifers.
yeah, we do. We have lifers until they get it. Some people they attend for like a whole year straight and they're like, Christina, I don't need you anymore. Okay, I'm full operation, I'm full execution. And I'm like,
No, I'm definitely needy. So I'm gonna need you.
yes,
But
yes, yes.
I know I'm gonna need to act, but I'm gonna ask you this question here so I can unpack all this over the weekend. Because I'm just trying to look deep right now, but you got me lost on some of this.
Oh, for sure. I know. And that's why we do the recording so that you could so I go fast. I talk really fast. So you need to rewind and watch it again, especially me typing away and doing all this other stuff. So that's why we record it. We have to.
Okay, let me ask you this last piece.
Yes,
You
sir.
mentioned the Business Trust could institute the LLC.
Yes,
And doing
forming.
that, and I didn't want to burn out Mr. Badu. Are you guys suggesting that when you start another LLC, that you
Mm-mm.
set up a check, uh-huh.
Go ahead,
What
go
I,
finish. Finish.
oh,
Go ahead, finish.
is it your experience that is better once you set up the trust or the LLC, that business checking account will be operated under the trust versus your LLC? How you going to move money around and conduct business?
That's a wonderful question, Pete. Okay, so you have to understand that your LLC is not the business trust and your business trust is not the LLC. These are two separate entities and they need their own bank accounts. So
Okay.
you're gonna be able to move money around between both entities, okay? Because the business trust is going to own the LLC. So when you go to form a new LLC, right, in the future, then when you submit the articles of organization for that LLC, the authorized member is going to be the business trust. You never have to put your name anywhere. Your name doesn't have to appear anywhere on the Secretary of State's website, which is ideal. That is the goal, okay? Versus what a lot of us did, which was we created the LLC first, and then we had to go backwards and amend it and make those changes. But amendments are part of the Secretary of State's public records, which shows that people are able to see the amendment and they're able to see that we removed ourselves.
Nice. Now you're going into mind reading. Okay.
Hey.
That's exactly what I was trying to find a way to
I
ask
know.
that question right there.
I know.
You already know,
I know.
huh?
I know, but you have to understand that I am not going to tell anybody to dissolve their LLC, because a lot of you guys been operating your LLC for a decade or two. So it does not make any sense for you to dissolve your LLC just because the amendment is visible on the public records, especially if that LLC has been doing business, it has credit established, you have employees and everything like that. Now, for some people, they have LLCs that are just sitting dormant collecting dust. So if they want to start from scratch, they can, because the LLC has no activity. So they'll dissolve it and start a new LLC fresh where the business trust is the original owner.
Okay. But so for the process of just everything being truly some anonymity in there, we use that list of the banks that you have, particularly if we're in Miami, Florida, the ones that we know are user friendly for the investor or the business owner. And all right, I understand. I can't question it, but I got it. I got it now.
So one thing that you mentioned was about the banks. And what I want you to know is that if you already have an existing LLC and now you process an amendment, you go back to the bank where you already have that open business checking account, and you let them know that it's owned by a business trust, and they have to update their paperwork, okay, to take you off of that account and to add the business trust and to designate you as the authorized signatory.
To be honest with you, Christina, through my experience, I think I do better starting fresh.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
With the banks I'm working with, I'm doing little things now with business credit and some things that are a little complicated. It's easy just to start fresh and use the other system. Between you and Mr. Badu, y'all have clearly set up a new track for me.
Okay.
It makes great sense. So I'm gonna do everything fresh.
Okay, sounds
You
good.
know.
Okay, we're gonna call you
Mm-hmm.
Fresh Pete now. Pete Fresh.
Fresh Pete. Whatever I
Fresh
gotta
Pete.
do.
We want to
We
see
gotta
you
make this work.
August, Fresh Pete.
The gentleman, oh, you're gonna definitely see me in there. But the gentleman mentioned something yesterday for your
Yes.
consideration
Yes.
and funding it. Are you saying that you also, I know it's gonna be the done set, but that's fine. It's the only ignorant question is the unasked question. So are you now saying that we could do real estate and these other practices? You can do IULs?
Yes, I can do IULs. I'm licensed. I'm licensed to create the IULs for you. I
When were you gonna say that?
I thought you knew that.
Oh no. My gosh, Christina. Okay, I'm glad they were probing you. They were drilling you,
Listen,
man. I'm glad they had to pull this out. No, I didn't know that.
yes, I am. I'm licensed and I have an agency. So, and I have team members in my agency. So, Gabrielle is actually one of the agents. So, Gabrielle, let them know we out here
Okay,
helping people structure
yeah,
IULs.
we need
Nakenji
the full
Parker,
package.
she's about to take her test. So there's what we are doing is we are all teaming up to help you guys set up the IULs.
Awesome, All right, all this is going through the support email. I need the whole package. I need
Yes,
it.
but Pete, listen, Fresh Pete, you need to go inside of the chat, because inside of the chat, there's a link for you to do the intake form if you want for us to set up your IUL. So click the link so you can
All
get
right.
your intake form
Yeah.
into the system, and then we'll process it that way.
I got you. Fresh Pete here, signing off. We're
Okay,
gonna make it
right,
happen.
that part. Okay, woo.
All righty.
All right. Hey, there go Bashan. Hey, Bashan. Bashan, you just jumped off camera.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that I was next.
Yes, you're
But
next. How are you?
I'm
Bashan,
doing
let
well.
everybody know how long you've been in and out of the workshops.
Oh man, I should be a professional by now as well. And I kinda am. I kinda am. I jump in and out, but there's so many different structures and for different reasons that thank God my roots started here, which branched off into so many different. I literally was just talking about this yesterday. So I'm glad I learned from you, which helps me when I go to others to say it's the vehicle trust or the land, like uh different entities, different setups. I can always, trace back here. Sometimes I stop back here to remember how you do certain things, even the Schedule A that you went through today and the quick claims. Um, Certain people don't do it as the way that you do. So it's good to come back to the roots. And someone was asking some questions earlier with Mr. Badu, and it kind of sparked some concern for me as well. You did stop someone in the tracks from, kind of like putting the hammer on this guy, and that's not really his thing. But I wanted to further it. So basically, people were asking about the land trust, right? And
Yep.
he kind of said is basically like a legal thing. Nothing really changes as far as the taxes, but what protection does it offer? Why would someone want to put a revocable use a land trust to do any sort of structuring? Is there a certain type of protection that it offers that might make you want to take that step?
That's a wonderful question. So, the first thing that I want you and everyone to know is that there are hundreds of different types of trusts. Okay.
Right.
So, you need to just ensure that your trust has the appropriate provisions inside of it for why you're utilizing it. Okay. Now,
Right.
when it comes to a land trust is a revocable living trust. Okay, that means that you are the grantor, you are the trustee, and you are the beneficiary. Okay, now this is my disclaimer to you, and please go and do your research. Okay, but my disclaimer to you is that your property can be seized with a land trust. Okay. So ultimately, people use land trust to avoid probate. It's very effective in avoiding probate. And so that's why they use land trust. But at the end of the day, because you are the grantor and the trustee, whoever is trying to come after you can come after whatever you have inside of that land trust, which is that property. So that's why in this program, we do not use revocable trust. That's why I don't talk about land trust at all, because of the nature of the trust. Your asset is not protected with the land trust, okay? You could call it whatever you want. You could call it a land trust, a vehicle trust. You could call it a charitable trust. You could call it a special needs trust. You could call it a sub trust, whatever it is, right? So whatever type of trust that you want to call it, it's what's inside of the trust, right? What is it designated for? So the way that I teach you, my teaching style is a little bit different, but the way that I teach you is for ultimate asset protection. I don't want your properties to be taken away from you. And so that's why I tell you stay away from revocable trust, which includes a land trust, right? Some people they want to. Is the same thing as It's almost the same thing as having your property in an LLC. Almost. Your property
Okay.
can be taken away from you if it's in an LLC.
You still have liability with the LLC. So is it a way to avoid that though? Like you said, you're the grantor and the trustee. Are you able to hire someone to take those positions and kind of rid you of the liability of it possibly being taken from you?
Yeah,
Or
so that's a wonderful question. So it's all in the way that it's structured. So you
right,
see that you
makes
are
sense.
creating this contract, right? So you're
Yeah,
creating this contract in a specific kind of way, but it is the nature of the contract. There's only two type, every single trust that you want to call it, right? If I have a special needs trust or a vehicle trust or a land trust, whatever you want to call the trust, it's either revocable or irrevocable. So how did you set it up? Did you set it up
statutory
in
and
a
non-statutory.
right? Did you
Right.
set it up in a revocable manner, right?
Yeah.
Or did you set it up in an irrevocable manner? So if you already established it, there's no way for you to change the revocable to an irrevocable. There's only one way that that will happen, and that is when the grantor dies. And if you the grantor,
It goes with you, right?
it does. So that means that that land trust is going to become irrevocable when you pass away. Why? Because that means that since you have transitioned, you are no longer able to make amendments because you transition. You no longer exist.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Like I said, it just sparked as they were asking some questions, it kind of sparked some concerns as to why I would or anyone would might want to use it, but I kind of follow precisely what you the disclaimers that you made and what we should or shouldn't do if we are taking that route.
Yeah, but
That's
you
what
heard
can
what Jeff
possibly
said.
happen.
He said it's all about preference. So some people prefer to put their real estate in LLCs. That's their preference.
Yeah. If you want
Yeah.
people to jump through hoops in order to get to you, which is a good security, if that's your preference, that makes sense,
Yeah, it's
depending
your
on what
preference.
you're doing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will tell you that there are a lot of different strategies. Okay. So sometimes you are looking at a strategy and you are probably looking at a strategy where they're using LLCs and holding companies and S corps and C corps and all this stuff, right? So they're using all of that, which I'm not going to say that it's wrong, but you're probably getting advice from someone who doesn't have a trust within their structure and they haven't even began to leverage it. And so they're telling you, hey, you need to use an LLC and an S corp and a C corp and a holding company, and every single piece of real estate needs to be in an LLC and it's individual owned LLC, and then it needs to have a holding company, which is an S corp, and then the S corp needs to be owned by the trust. I will tell you that's the wrong way. Why? Because you want the asset to be owned directly by a trust, not by an LLC. You might as well kiss that house goodbye. But that is how they're going to show you how to do it. So it's up to you, it's preference.
Yeah, I totally get it. I'm not sure if I can reach out to you personally. I did have some other concerns. If I can set
Mhm.
any sort of meeting up, or it's just something small, just some small
Okay.
concerns.
Yeah, no problem,
Um,
no problem. So if you want to talk about your individual structure, we can do that offline.
yeah,
So go ahead and just what my team will do is because my calendar is closed, they're going to manually put you into my calendar. So just send a message to support and then they'll reach
yeah.
out to me and I'll give you a call.
Okay, I believe they just sent something in the chat just now as well. I think so. I just saw something pop up. So,
Okay,
um,
sounds
yeah, I'll
good.
resort to that.
Okay,
Thank you,
sounds
Ms.
good.
Yvette.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Thank
Bashan.
you. Keep it
All
up,
right.
man. Thank you.
Yes, 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 yes. All right, next we have Nikenji Nikki Parker.
I actually kind of lost my train of thought listening to him talk to you.
I,
And
I
so,
know.
with the houses and the trust and everything, so main trust is like Blue Moon Trust, example. That's the main trust that everything flows to the initial intended, beneficiary, my son, basically. And so for the house, put it in like a set up just as a main trust, another trust, like 1, 2, 3 for the house number trust, and then put that under the Blue Moon Trust. Would that be a proper setup? Or is that just an unnecessary step?
So when you say put it under the Blue Moon Trust, the Blue Moon Trust is going to be the beneficiary of 1, 2, 3 Main Street Trust.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Okay. And then my initial question, I'm trying to remember what it was. I don't know if I got my initial question, so that'll be it.
Okay. Next we have Raquel. Hey Raquel, how are you?
Hey, Christina. Nice talking to you again.
Hey, it's
Appreciate
always a
everything you
pleasure.
do. You're always on point. Thank you so much. I just had a question about, thank you. So I had a question about the address for every trust. So every trust, like the business trust, the family trust, the ministry, they all have to have a different address, or can I reuse the same address?
Best practice is for them to have their own separate address. Now,
Okay.
some people say that it's not economical or feasible for them to be able to do that.
Okay.
So whichever address that they're using publicly, most likely is the business trust, will have a separate address from the address that they're keeping private and not doing any type of commerce with.
I see. Okay. And then my second question is that I fill out the IUL registration link, but I haven't been reached out.
Oh, okay, no problem. So we will definitely reach out. And what I'll do is I'll have Ivy put inside of the chat the calendar for the insurance. Can you put the agency calendar inside of the chat, please, Ivy? Thank you.
And then one more question, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. Go for it, Raquel.
I don't know if you said that for every business, we have to make a new trust, right?
That is a wonderful question. So what I said was that you can have multiple businesses inside of one business trust, but you want to separate it by liability. So you want high liability businesses separate from low liability businesses. So for example, if you have a trucking company, that's high liability. If you have a consultation firm, that's low liability. You wouldn't put both of those companies in the same business trust.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it. All right, thank you, Christina.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Okay, so Ivy, can you make sure that all of the recordings for the workshop are available? Some of our community members are saying that they only see day one. So let's ensure that all of the recordings are available. So my next question is, since we need a grantor for the banking, will the bank need to contact the grantor? Yes, so the banker will be in contact with the grantor if you don't have their information. So all they need is their information. If you have it, you provide it. And if you don't have it, then they can contact the grantor themselves. Okay, so that happens all the time. This is a natural phenomenon. Will the grantor have access? No. So only the trustee has access. The grantor does not have access. All right. So Tam said, I need the whole package. Tam, you have the whole package, my dear. Okay. Listen, God is on your side. So the next question I see, Edgar said, love your outfit, Christina. Thank you so much. He said, you know what? Edgar has a whole theme going on here. I love it. Thank you, Edgar. I appreciate you. And I enjoy our conversations. I got a chance to talk to Edgar for a whole hour. I found out, where he lives, his family dynamic, how he grew up, everything. And so I love having these one-on-one conversations with you guys. So definitely go through support so that they can put you on my calendar and we can definitely talk. Okay, my calendar is currently closed, so you're not able to book directly, and that is because I am spending a lot of time with the life insurance agency. So I am training our agents. Some of them are in our community, some of them are not. And I'm just cultivating that agency so that we're able to provide that for you guys. So all rental properties could go into different LLCs under the business trust, correct? If that's the way that you want to do it, then yes. I am always going to give you the disclaimer that your asset needs to be directly owned by a trust. If you want to take the risk and have it owned by an LLC, by all means, okay? Now, the LLC can be owned by a business trust, but that does not protect your asset, okay? So a lot of people get confused and they think that because the LLC is owned by a business trust, the real estate is protected. It is not. So in order for the asset to be protected, and we spoke about asset protection all this morning, in order for your asset to be protected, it has to be directly owned by the trust. In order for that asset to be, like Jeff said, a tax write-off, it has to be owned directly by the trust. Okay, so if you want to write off the mortgage, and if you you need to be able to have it directly owned by the trust. Okay, so let's see here. Can you put a family member's business in your trust? So whenever you have questions like this, Myron, which is a really good question, right? So whenever you have questions like this, you need to go and refer to your governing instrument. So your governing instrument says that anyone can add any asset into a trust. So if you have a family member and they want to put their business into your trust, they can. The only thing that needs to be addressed is one, that the business is now owned by the trust and it's not owned by them anymore. And two, the trustee has to approve that transfer, meaning that they can't just, put their business into your trust without you knowing. So the trustee has to be able to approve that transfer, okay? All right, and I think Renault is next. Hey, Renault. You're on mute. We can't hear you. So, Renault, come off mute, please. In the meantime, I'm going to take Tony's question. So Tony says, can you write off your personal mortgage in your family trust? As long as that asset is owned by the family trust, it is an expense of the family trust and it is a tax deduction, so you can write it off. Okay, you cannot do that if the asset is not owned by the family trust. Hey, Renault.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. What's up? The infamous.
Yes, we finally we made it here. We've been doing this for a while. We finally got the 3 trusts completed. We thank you so much for assisting us with that and making that a reality for me and my wife. This is kind of a piggyback off of what I asked Mr. Baidu, and he mentioned about the W-2 income, where it should just go into our regular checking because it's W-2 income and it's not business income. But I know we're trying to properly structure it as well. And I heard you mention earlier that after we have it deposited into our regular checking, we probably should move it into one of our trust accounts or one of our, like all three trust accounts that I have set up, they all have cash plus accounts and brokerage accounts. So which one should I properly structure it, or which one should I transfer the W-2 income into?
Okay, so that's a wonderful question. So that cash is an asset, okay? And so if you want to protect that asset, you want it to be in the trust. So the only way for that asset, that cash, let's just say, you know, it's, I don't know, $10,000. So in order for us to protect that $10,000, that $10,000 needs to be in the trust fund and not in your personal checking account, because we know that the system is able to garnish your personal checking account. So you would have to transfer it. And I would tell you that the best place for it to go is inside of your family trust, because that is for your personal assets. That has nothing to do with business.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. That answers my question. You are so
Yay.
appreciated, Christina.
Oh, thank you so much. You are too. You are too. So
Thank you.
say hello to your lovely wife. And
I
I'm
will
looking
do so.
yeah, I'm looking forward to our next conversation.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you. All right, next we have Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. How are
Okay,
you?
I'm doing great. How you doing today? Well, you're always fantastic. I don't need to ask.
Listen, I try my best, okay?
So
Listen,
my
I'm
question,
telling you.
okay,
Yes,
my
ma'am.
question is, when we transfer an asset into the trust, is that a taxable event?
Yep, that's a wonderful question. So it depends on how you transfer it. So if you transfer it as a sale, it is a taxable event. If you transfer it as a gift, you don't pay taxes on gifts.
Okay, and okay, all right. But if I have, okay, okay, that, okay, I'm gonna keep thinking. I'm gonna keep thinking. So, because
Yes.
I have a real estate property.
Yeah, so the way that you are going to disclose if it is a gift or a sale is through that instrument that you're using to transfer, okay?
Okay.
So on the quitclaim deed, if you're selling it, then you're going to include that it is a sale and what the sales price is. If it's like a vehicle, you're going to include that it is a sale and what the sales price is, right? And that is going to, so if you sell any of those assets to the trust, it triggers a taxable event. That is 100% true.
Okay. And if I give it as a gift, transfer it as a gift, then there's no quit claim deed or anything like that to be.
No, you still have to do a quitclaim deed. That's for the conveyance of the ownership, but
Okay.
you're going to document on the deed that it is a gift, or like what I showed you, we put a $1 consideration,
Okay.
and there is not going to be a taxable event.
Okay. So if I transfer a property, so it has nothing to do with value at all if I give it as a gift.
Correct. So if
Okay.
it's a gift, they do want you to put a dollar amount. You usually put $1. Some counties
Okay.
will require you to put the minimum of $10. And every
Okay.
single county has their own rules.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Thank you. As
You're
usual,
welcome.
you're so fantastic. And you are rocking today with the outfit. I just want to piggyback on
Thank
that.
you. Thank you, Ms. Rhonda. I appreciate you. You are so lovely. Thank you.
All right. Signing
I
off now.
appreciate you. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Next we have Gabriel. Hey, Gabriel.
Hi, Christina.
Hi, beautiful.
So my question is, can veteran benefits go into the family business banking account? I think I'm saying it right.
Yeah, so it's either business or family, that's one. And two, it cannot be direct. So it would have to be like what I explained to Renault, where it goes into that veteran's personal, and then from there, they'll transfer it to the trust.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, next we have Jeanette. Hey, Miss Jeanette. You are still on mute and we cannot hear you.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was having technical difficulties.
No
I am
problem.
piggybacking off of a previous question regarding the sale of a house. So if the family trust is selling a house that is within it, how does that look? I mean, is that something that has to be filed? And I apologize if you mentioned that already, but I didn't catch it if you did. Is there anything that has to be due regarding, receiving the sale, money for that, for taxes or what have you, or reporting
Okay.
it?
Your question is a little unclear.
Okay. So if the family trust has a home in it and they sell and we decide to sell the house
Yes.
within it, one of the homes within it, how is that? Do we have to? Are we going to be? How is when I'm assuming it has to be reported when taxes are filed, of course, because it's something that I sold. But how would I not be penalized or taxed on that if I spend the money? Basically, is that how that will work?
No. So when you are selling a property, it's going through, you have a transaction coordinator, you have either a closing attorney, you have a title company, whoever is the one that's doing the paperwork, they're going to issue you a 1099 for that sale. So whoever the owner is going to be issued a 1099. That is how your capital gains is recorded and reported to the IRS.
Okay. And how would I avoid not paying the taxes on that?
No. So one, this is a question for Jeff, and two, I don't see how you're going to avoid how you're going to avoid capital gains.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let's see if there is any other questions. All right. So Brian says we need to get started on a Christina Yvette statue. He is so funny. I cannot with Brian. What? Oh my God. For the history. Why you make me feel like Martin Luther King? I cannot right now. Oh my gosh. Oh, so the next question is, can you place your retirement into a trust? So that is a wonderful question. It depends on the type of retirement. So for example, if you want to roll over your 401k into a Roth or a traditional IRA, that Roth or traditional IRA can be owned by a trust. If you want to roll it over into an annuity, then it can be owned by the trust. If you have a pension, that pension is always going to be in your personal name, okay? If you have Social Security, that Social Security is tied to your name and social, okay? So it depends on the type of retirement plan that has been established for you. And any other questions? Any other last questions? Anybody else? No? Okay. So in your email, you did receive a survey. That survey is going to help us improve our flow and the way that we're able to deliver the workshop to you. So we would appreciate it if you filled out the survey so that we can have recommendations and we can see how your overall experience was. If there's anybody who wants to come off mute and let us know how their workshop experience has been, I would really, really, really appreciate it if you guys were to let us know your overall experience. We spent 5 days together. You have been overloaded with information. I know that it is a lot, and I just want to tell you that this is a journey. This is not a sprint where you want to do this overnight and be done by tomorrow. Okay, so allow yourself to process that information and then move forward after you have really let everything sink in. Okay, so I would like to know if there's anybody who wants to come off mute and let us know how their overall workshop experience has been. I see Gabriel's hand is up.
Hi, yes. I just want to say I did not attend all 5 days for this workshop, but I have attended others, and it's amazing. I just want you to know to just be patient with yourself. This is a lot of information. It's not something you want to rush, but I know that I have it now. Like it took me a minute, but I have it now. So again, be patient with yourself. This is new information, and just know like you're just lucky to be here. Like this is just amazing. Christina is amazing. I appreciate her. She's very patient with you. If you have any questions, she just breaks it down so easily. So just again, give yourself grace.
Thank you so much, Gabriel. I appreciate you saying that. And I am so glad that you have really put like the puzzle pieces together by really taking action on this information. And I am so, so, so proud of you. And I am encouraging you, just come back each and every time that you need clarity. So thank you so much, because patience is super important. And I see that sometimes a lot of people, they are overloaded. They like information overload. Some of them are overwhelmed. Some of them decide that they want to stay stuck and not move forward. And then some of them think that they feel like they have to rush. And I don't see what the rush is. I understand that it is a sense of urgency to implement, but you want to make sure that you're establishing their foundation the right way. So like Gabriel said, be patient with yourself and definitely like listen to the information again, either through the recordings or through attending our next workshop, because that light bulb will go off, because you will then be able to connect all of the dots because you heard it a second time. And this time you heard it differently. This time you heard something that you missed. This time it provided more clarity than it did when you heard it the first time. So thank you, Gabriel. I appreciate you so, so, so much. All right, we have Jennifer. Hey, Miss Jennifer.
Hey again.
Hey.
I was completely blown away. I guess I didn't really have an expectation, but you were so thorough. I've been watching you for a while on YouTube, and I wasn't sure if you were real or not. But I was super, super, super nervous about paying that money. I was like, oh my God, what if I pay and I lose it and whatever? But I closed my eyes and I was like, I'm just going to go for it. And I am so happy I did, because I've learned so much in these 5 days. And like you said, just to keep going over the recordings will help to, clear things up and to have a better understanding. But I am so super happy to meet you. It's been a pleasure. And I just look forward to continuing the relationship.
Yes, and I look
I'm
forward
so
to.
sad that today's our last day, but I'll follow. I'll follow the other workshops coming up.
Yes, Miss Jennifer, thank you so much for saying that. I am so glad that you decided to walk by faith and not by sight, and you decided to take that leap even though you was nervous or skeptical or scared. I have gotten that so many times. First of all, people think that my videos are AI. Then second of all, people like, I didn't know if you was the real deal. So I'm glad that you said that that the training is thorough, because we do our best to over deliver. That's what we want. We want you to get everything packaged into one, right? And so that's why I'm not the only educator. That's why we have other educators in the community, so that you can have those available resources and you can get the information that you need to tie it all in together. So thank you so much. And don't worry, because this is not the last time that we're going to see each other. We have master classes frequently. So next week we actually have 2 master classes. So, and we have a Q&A. So that's 3 days that we're going to be together, okay? So Monday we have a master class on cryptocurrency, and a lot of us in the community, we are diving right into crypto, and I would highly tell you to join us. So the
Yes,
cryptocurrency,
I'm into crypto as well.
yay! So
When
it's
is the meeting?
yeah, it's Monday at 7. So please, you're going to get a text message and an email, excuse me, I lost my train of thought. You're going to get a text message and an email with the Zoom link, and you just jump right into Zoom. So a lot of us in the community, we have already established our wallets. We're already invested in XRP. We're already invested in different platforms where we have bots trading for us. So it is an extensive program, but you get to learn it thoroughly. And so our educator, his name is Ken Shillingford. You'll be able to see him like inside of the community, inside of Telegram, inside of the chat. He's our go-to person. So he has been able to show us how to operate in the decentralized space with our trust, right? And it's very, very, very powerful. Okay. So I am actively in it, and he's holding my hand, and he's holding various other people in our community, holding their hand through the whole process. And I will tell you that God shows me a lot of things, right? And so this program that you have just attended, this workshop, God gave it to me, and I was able to put it together for you all. And God is putting me in a position to help you prepare for the wealth transfer. And the wealth transfer has a lot to do with a lot of the stuff that you learned, right? So it has a lot to do with your life insurance policies. It has a lot to do with getting structured for taxes. It has a lot to do with cryptocurrency and XRP. It has a lot to do with your trust and getting structured, and it has a lot to do with real estate. So that's why we bring in all of those different components so that you can learn about it, okay? So this was not a mistake, and it's not a coincidence. This is the place where you want to be in order for wealth creation, wealth preservation, and wealth conservation. So thank you, Miss Jennifer. I appreciate you. All right, next we have Nikenji, the infamous Nikki Parker.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly, loud and clear.
Well, I just want to say I definitely appreciate you, and you're so patient. And I know, like you say, overload. I'll be thinking one thing, mine goes somewhere else, and lose my train of thought. So I appreciate your patience with all of that. And so just wanted to say how much I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate your dedication and your commitment and the value that you bring here to the community. And I love how you are able to jump into the workshops every single time that you want to revisit something. So I am extremely proud of you, because you are building generational wealth. You're getting that foundation established for your son. So keep doing the work and keep showing up. So I appreciate you so, so, so much. Thank you. All right. Next we have Ms. Dina.
Okay, yes, I had to say something, Christina. I have
Oh,
to. You are so amazing. And as usual, the workshop was amazing once again. And I'm just so thankful that you are here helping us. You have what I like to call the Harriet Tubman spirit, because you could have just ran on with the knowledge you had, but you came back to come and get others and help them find their way. And that's what I think about when I think about you, your selflessness, that you were willing to help others find their way. And so I will let you know I will be doing my IUL with you. I want you to do my IUL. I want to do it and have it done with you. I'm happy to hear that you are now going to be doing that. And so once again, I thank you for this workshop, and thank you for just being you. You have been helped me more than some people I've known all my life in just a short period of time. So I really thank you and I appreciate you. And I'll see you at the next workshop.
oh, thank you so much, Miss Dina. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. Do you know that your face lights up my day just seeing you? I'm like, there go Miss Dina. Like, because Miss Dina she's a cheerleader. She is definitely a cheerleader, and I love you so much, Miss Dina. Thank you so much for being here. You show up in all of the workshops. You are actually putting in the work, right? You got your triplets set up. You are in the process of getting funding with Brian. You are going through the process with the insurance and everything. And I am just so proud of you. I am so, so, so proud of you. So yes, this is the Underground
Yes, I
Railroad,
got you.
honey.
Oh, yes, it
Yeah.
is. Yes, it is. I mean, even 5 years ago, I never knew none of this. Just 5 years ago, I wouldn't know. I didn't know any of this. And like I
Yeah.
said, you took me a long way in such a short time. And so
Yeah.
I just really appreciate you. And I try to talk to other people, and they looking at me like I got two heads. I said, you know what? Let me go find my community and get back with my peeps because and be around like-minded people. Again, thank you.
You're so welcome, and that's so important. So sometimes and I will say this because I heard this quote. I know that you guys have heard it before, right? Don't share your big dreams with small minds, right? And so that means that some people, they're not on the same trajectory as you. They don't have the same information as you. They are scared. Some of them want to stay in the same spot. They want to stay stuck. Some of them, they've never even heard of it. That's why you're saying that people are looking at you like you have two heads. Why? Because they're like, I can't even fathom putting a trust together. I can't even fathom building wealth. I can't even fathom leveraging an IUL, right? They don't know. They don't know what they don't know. And so because of that, they're deciding, hey, I'm just going to stay stuck. I'm going to stay, depending on my job and my W-2 and security and all this other stuff, instead of taking that chance, right? And so Miss Dina, she is an individual that has taken this information and has implemented. She's executed her trust. She's dealing with her LLCs and her businesses, getting business funding, doing everything that she's supposed to be doing. And so that's the only thing that we ask. And she's showing up to the workshops, right? I can't even tell you how many workshops Ms. Dina has been. And that's why I'm saying whenever I see her, my face lights up, because that is why we do this. I want to see you in every single workshop, right? So show up, be present, and this is your community. We are like-minded. When I interact with you guys and I hear the stories, like for example, I was on the phone with Edgar. He was telling me the story about what he has going on, and in my head I'm just like, generational curse breaker, generational curse breaker, generational curse breaker. So we are the same. Okay, when we say like-minded, we are the same. We're identical. We are like what we're doing in our families, like we are that person. And so we have to stick together. We have to stick together. Oh my goodness. Whew. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Miss Dean. I love you. Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. So next we have Myron.
Christina.
Yes,
I
sir.
can't figure out how to get my camera on, so um,
Oh,
but I did want to get on and thank you because I missed the first segment, but I've caught every other one. But it's because I'm not as technical savvy. I've been running to my little glitches, but your program is such an excellent program. I'm a person that's 70 years old, and I should have done this years ago. And I had the information and never used it. Life will change your direction sometimes, but your gift is a gift truly from God. I had the opportunity to draw up something like this when I was a young man, contracted it with an attorney. I couldn't patent what I wanted to do. So this here puts me right on the scene of where I've wanted to be pretty much my whole life. So I thank God for you, and your work is excellent. I've learned so much in this week, and I'm grabbing everything. But as far as navigating the system, it's been my biggest issue. But I truly enjoyed every minute that I've shared on your program. I'm looking forward. I asked a lot of questions. I kept calling the different numbers. I know I worried people because I was kind of lost at first. So now I realized something that was most important to me. I have a lifetime membership with you. That is the most beautiful point of all of it because I was in such a rush to get it done. So I just want to thank you. I did want to get on and say something. So I appreciate everything you're doing. God
thank you.
bless you.
Oh, God bless you too. Thank you for that confirmation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Listen, I am just allowing God to use me as a vessel, and I am unapologetic about it. So
Yes, Lord.
I do not like to take credit for this because even the name Seven Ways to Wealth came from God. The whole entire
Yes, it is.
program and me having the authority and dominion from God to be able to share this information with you guys, right? And so, and all of you guys were led here, right? I did not go looking for you, right? You were divinely led here to this program, to this community, and it is undeniable. And I just want to say thank you for being here, Mr. Myron. Thank you for having patience when it comes to the technology and the systems. I know that there's various different, links and things that we need to navigate. You have a dashboard, you have a student portal, all this stuff. But just know that my team, they are working diligently. They are going to help you. They're going to support you. So Billy is here, Ivy is here, and we are here. And there's various different team members, but those are the ones that are in the forefront assigned to assist you with everything that you need. So do not worry, because like you said, Mr. Myron, you have lifetime access. So we want to do life with you, okay? We want
I'm
to
here for
see.
life.
Yes, for life. We want to see you on every single workshop. We want to see you on all the master classes. We want to see you on the live Q&As. We have live Q&As where you just jump in and we kind of have a block party. We talk and you just ask your questions because you're going through the motion of setting everything up. So just know that we're here to hold you accountable and we're here to support you because we want you to reach the finish line and actually get your structure and your foundation together because this is your legacy. A lot of people think that a legacy is the material things that you leave behind, but it's not. It's not, right? It's not about the house and the car and the cash. It's about you putting this together and you leaving the impact for the generations and you leaving the legacy, which is those provisions and how you want things to operate, right? That's the true legacy. So thank you so much, Mr. Myron. I appreciate you for being here. And yes, we want to see you in all of the calls.
We'll
All
be
right.
there. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Next we have Tony. Hey, Tony.
Hey, how are you, Chris?
Hi, hi. I'm well.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay. I have a dad. He's a Vietnam veteran. and he's actually living at the Dallas VA hospital in the community living center, and so he has 100% disability, and he has amputated legs and everything like that. So, will he qualify for IUL? I mean, because I mean he is already disabled, you know, and so I'm over his affairs and everything like that, but I'm not sure if I could put an IUL in his name or not. So just because of his circumstances.
Yeah, so my answer to you is it is highly unlikely. So you do have to go through an approval process. Sometimes there's a medical that's required, and usually because of an amputation, that's some automatic decline. So I would tell you that that's not the best type of policy for him.
Okay. So I'm a veteran as well, but I'm not 100%. I'm at 40%. So will I qualify possibly?
So there's more questions that I will have to ask you. So if you could click the link that's inside of the chat, then we can have that extensive conversation.
Okay. The support link, or I'm not sure
No,
exactly
no,
what.
no. There. Okay. So Ivy, can you drop the link? So
Oh
she's
yeah.
gonna the insurance one.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. That link right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I clicked on it already. So I just got it up. It's like one of my tabs.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're like me, multiple tabs. Did you see that my
Right.
computer almost shut down because I had 30 tabs open?
But I understand. I done had up to like, I won't even put the number out there, but I've had a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Mr. Tony.
All right. Thank you so much, Christina.
Yeah,
Thank you for everything. I mean, you're amazing.
thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here and for doing what you have to do because you're doing it for your father, you're doing it for yourself, and for the descendants after you. So God bless you.
Yes. Yeah, I got a
Yeah.
younger daughter that's 13. That's only child. I'm 60, but I tell people I'm grandpappy age, but I'm the pappy.
I know, right? Yeah, that's beautiful though. So yeah, everything that you're doing right now is for your daughter, like for your daughter. So this is the thing. When I say, Mr. Tony, that we are the same because like you and I, right? And majority of the people that's on the call, to be honest with you, we're stuck in the middle where we're handling the affairs of our parents because they didn't do it.
Right.
But we need to handle the affairs for our children because we need to set them up right, and impact their trajectory so that they can be raised the right way as beneficiaries and future trustees. And so we're just right there in the middle doing it for both generations. And
Yes,
so we're the
ma'am.
same. I do it too. I just put an insurance policy on my 73-year-old father. I've been trying to put an insurance policy on him for the last 5 years, and it's just been a fight, and I
Wow.
finally was able to do it. So I am in the same track and journey that you are on. Okay. That's why we are doing life together in this community because we're in the same boat. You can't tell me no different. There's nothing that you can tell me. We are in the same
Right.
boat.
Well,
Yes.
I got my paddle.
Thank you. You see,
Well, I'm looking forward to you putting together a private money fund so we can all, fund each other's like businesses or real estate or something like that. So Paige
yes.
Morby, Paige Morby in
Yes,
real
I've
estate.
seen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has it's called the Gator method, and so all his
Mm-hmm.
people that he trains in subject to and things of that nature, he has them in a group called Gator method and everything like this. So they have private whoever want to lend money to each other. Yeah,
Wow,
so
that's
you might want to look into like how Pace Morby is kind of doing it.
I will
You got
definitely.
your own ecosystem and everything like this. So, why not just check out what he's doing?
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And I know that our community, we deserve it to be able to do that, to be able to pull money together collectively, to be able to use it for real estate or just to help other projects and to be able to just make money together. Like we deserve that as a community. And we're doing
Exactly.
it in various different industries, right? Right now we're doing
Right.
it in crypto, right? And so we need to do it with the private fund, like you said. So do not
I
worry.
mean,
I'm
it'd be a great thing, going through your IULs and everything like this. So we talking about compound interest. So,
yeah,
if we lending money, out, 8 to 10% or something like that,
yeah,
15%,
yeah.
you got nice money coming into your IUL.
Yeah, exactly. That is so powerful, and that's generational wealth, and we get to do it as a community. We get to do it as a
Right.
family. This is a
Exactly.
family. This is a
Yeah.
family, and we need
I
to
feel
come
that
together.
way.
I I feel that way. I
Yeah.
feel
The
that way.
last time I was on, the last time I was on and everything, I think we was talking about that. Like, we should pool our money together.
Yes, yeah, we did. We did mention that in June. Yes, we did. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Do not worry. I will definitely, like, I've already started getting the ball rolling. I've had these conversations with individuals that have established funds, and we're definitely going to be able to make it happen.
So one thing too, another thing, like if you want to cut down your consultations through legal with a legal attorney and everything, try Legal Shield. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
for a business and everything, I think it's like $40 a month and everything. You can talk to an attorney till your face turn blue.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love that. I love that. And see, this is what
Yes.
I mean when those of you guys come together and you have had success with a certain company and you go and share those resources with your community members. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. So I'll let you go now. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. All
Bye
right, then
bye.
we have bye. Then we have Bashan. Hey, Bashan.
Hey, Miss Yvette.
Hey,
Um,
how are you?
I'm well, man. I have been here for a while, and I do want to piggyback off of everyone that have spoken so far. I'm very long-winded, but thank God I kind of forgot half of what I was going to say. So I still nonetheless wanted to give my gratitude, share my gratitude. Um, Everyone, we're all here for different reasons, regardless of whatever that reason is. I do, me personally, and I'm sure we all do, appreciate your patience. I've personally dealt with Christina for a while, so her professionalism and integrity. Like I said, we have different situations and different reasons that we're here, but it still express itself in all of those avenues for whatever you guys might have. The new beginners, the patrons that's been here for a while. I'm sure you guys experienced it. Um, I know we do ask some questions you might have shared during going through the trust itself, and sometimes we still ask some questions, but she's still patient. She still respond to the questions regardless. Any human, you might get a little fatigued or annoyed with it, but she's still, understanding of us. And uh, it takes I mean, it's different for each person, but refueling the source that provides for us, um, just us showing our gratitude and giving thanks for everything that she for us. The Harriet Tubman compliments that were made, everything that everyone has said, I I commend it, I applaud it, I agree with it, I endorse it. And I stuck around this long to just at least give my gratitude because I've been here a while and I've never really got a chance to. And this is how I do feel. Um, I'm running all around because I lost a lot of little pieces that I wanted to add to this, but overall, thank you, Mr. Vet. Thank you for your patience and your integrity and professionalism and exposing us to this information to propel whoever to the direction that they might want to go, that it allows us to gain access to.
Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all of our in-depth conversations. I appreciate that you have been a member of the community for a long time. I appreciate that you come in and out of the workshop, and I appreciate the gratitude. I appreciate you even acknowledging like the patience and stuff like that. It's just a part of my nature because I just want to be as helpful as possible. I want you to have, all of the information that you need so that you're able to apply it and you're able to execute your specific strategy, right? Everyone, like Bashan said, is here for a different reason. And so I want you to be able to leverage these tools so that you can get that desired outcome that you came here for. And the community aspect is just so important, and just coming in and participating and asking good questions, like Bashan's questions, like he's always, 1-2 with it. Like it's really valuable because other people are learning from the questions that you're asking. And so that participation, you can't even put a price tag on it, right? And so I appreciate you so much. You have no idea what your presence and your impact here in the community does. And that's you and each and every one of you. And that's why I encourage you, come to the workshops, come to the master classes, come to the Q&As, get into the Telegram, get into the Facebook community, because your other community members, they want to hear from you because they also get to learn from you. They get to learn from you because you've already been doing it for a while and you've already executed and you're protecting assets and you've already been leveraging the strategy and the tools. And so you are just going to be adding to what some of the newcomers, they're unaware of. Like some people, they just joined this week. They just joined in the middle of the workshop. So when I say they're brand new, right? Some people just joined us yesterday, and yesterday, Monday, Tuesday, over the weekend, last week. So you sharing is just allowing them to learn more and them hearing from your experience. So I appreciate you so much, Bashan. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Likewise, Mr. Vet. Thank you so much as well.
You. All right, and then we have Sylvia. Hey, Miss Sylvia, how are you?
I am great.
Yay! Yay!
Yeah, and I'd like to, I'm listening to everybody, like to add to and endorse what everyone else has said, because you are definitely in your lane, and I'm sure everyone can see that because you're good at what you do. So I really appreciate everything that you do. And like he just said, we ask questions that you already went over. I'm about to do that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Miss Sylvia, though.
So what I wanted to know is,
yes, ma'am.
The insurance policy. I
Yes,
know I
ma'am.
talked to you early this week. Do I put that in the family?
Yes, yes, yes,
One.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Now
Yeah.
with
So
the Go ahead.
you know that you can have multiple policies.
Okay.
So you can spread it if you would like, but ideally the way that it is designed is for everything to eventually flow into the family. So best practice is for you to have those insurance policies owned directly by the family trust.
Okay. And the autos, do they go in the family or create another family trust for the autos?
Yeah, you create another indenture. You're going to use the family trust template. You're going to add some provisions in there for like some vehicle provisions in there. And then you will go ahead and just have that be an isolated trust for the vehicle.
So it is in the same family trust, or I do a different
No, you do a
one?
different one.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're just going to
Okay.
leverage that template. But yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what I needed to know.
Yes, okay. Thank you, beautiful. I appreciate you
All right.
so much. Thank you for being here. And it's always a pleasure to see you in the workshops.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. So, anybody else? Kenji, I see your hand up.
Yeah, and going off of what she just said, so it's kind of like a low risk family trust and a high risk family trust.
Oh, if you want to label it that way, but yeah, so you want to just isolate the assets. So,
Okay.
so because the vehicle is a high liability asset, you want to isolate it from your other assets like your insurance policies and your crypto and your primary residence.
Okay, I think that clicked in my brain a little better. Just separating them by high risk versus low risk. Still the
Yeah.
same type of trust, just different priorities.
Yep, exactly. All right, so we are going to wrap up the workshop. I am just so thrilled that you guys were able to hang in there. I know it was a lot of information. I know most of the days we went over past 2 o'clock, but I did not want to leave without you getting the clarity and guidance and support that you needed. And I want you to know that we are here to hold you accountable. So there's several things that I want you to do. So the first one is I want you to go ahead and click on the link for Jeff Badu so that you can get on the calendar for him and his team so that you can begin to have those conversations about taxes, okay? It's vitally important because tax mitigation is one of the highest priorities that you should have. The second thing is click on the link for the insurance if you guys are ready to get started with getting your insurance policies structured. So it's not an overnight thing. I don't want you to think that boom, tomorrow you're going to get a policy, okay? So there's a pre-approval process. We're going to have a whole consultation about it. We're going to have those in-depth conversations so that you can let me know what the strategy is, what your family dynamic looks like, all of these various different things. So let's have those side conversations regarding it. Another thing is that don't forget about the survey that's inside of your inbox. We also have the volunteer directory for those of you guys that want to reach out to other community members so that they can assist you with being a part of your board or with whatever position that you need filled within your organization. Another thing is go ahead and put inside of the Telegram chat, right? Let us know how your experience has gone and what you need help with, because a lot of you guys, you need support. And so Billy is readily available inside of the Telegram chat, inside of the Facebook community. You can also contact us directly. So you can contact Ivy at info@7waystowealth. You can contact Billy at support@7waystowealth. You can contact me at Christina@7waystowealth, and we will be able to hold your hand through the process. We'll be able to hold you accountable and make sure that if you're stuck, it's time to get unstuck, okay? Another thing that I want you to know is that we have a live Q&A session next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. So for a lot of you guys, you are new to the program, so we're going to give you the weekend to be able to review everything, to be able to begin the process, to be able to watch your recordings, to catch up, and then next week we'll meet live on Zoom so that I can answer all of your questions since you begin the implementation process, okay? So don't forget that it is Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will receive a text message as well as an email, and it also is going to be inside of the community board so that you're able to access that call on Zoom. We do have 2 master classes for you next week. So the first one is Monday at 7. That is cryptocurrency with our educator, Ken, and he's going to be able to go through various different topics when it comes to cryptocurrency. So we're talking about cold wallets, we're talking about exchanges, we're talking about investments, XRP, all of those things, okay? So we will meet on Monday at 7, and I highly, highly, highly encourage everyone to attend, even if you are afraid of crypto. I know some people, they're like, I don't know about crypto, right? I'm telling you, without a shadow of a doubt, it is a part of the wealth transfer, and I don't want you to miss this opportunity because we have an educator who is volunteering his time to be able to help us step by step. If you thought that I was thorough, you are mistaken because Ken is thorough. And all of our educators are, but when I tell you, you do not want to miss our cryptocurrency masterclass on Monday, okay? So right now we've structured it to where every other Monday you are going to receive a crypto training. Crypto is a really big financial industry, right? And there's a lot of things involved when it comes to crypto, right? How do you transfer? How do you buy? How do you sell? There's so much. And so Ken has been able to put it together in a way to where it's easily digestible, and he'll walk you through the whole process. Okay, so me myself, I'm actively involved with Ken and in all of the investments that we have with the XRP and with the different platforms. Okay, so it's not only me, it's a lot of our community members. Now, so I highly encourage that. Now, our second masterclass is with Brian Dorsey, our fund manager. Okay, so Brian Dorsey, he has helped hundreds, if not thousands, of different businesses being able to get funding, right? So he has funded 9 figures worth of funding and has really been a staple in our community to be able to assist us with getting that OPM, the money that we need, okay? So he has very unique and strategic banking relationships, okay? Like he will literally, and I have seen him do it, he will literally like walk you into the branch. Okay, that is how good Brian is. And so he wasn't able to attend the workshop yesterday, but no worries. He said that he's going to do a session for us next week. So right now we're looking at Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we do have a calendar for you so that you're able to keep track of all of the upcoming events that we have virtually for you. So we're going to be meeting 3 times next week. So clear your calendar, okay? And they're going to be in the evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have future master classes coming available for you. So some are going to be on the life insurance. We're going to be training you on how to move money around in those policies. Some are going to be on real estate. So we're going to be teaching you different real estate strategies and how to begin to invest abroad, right? A lot of you guys are only focused on real estate here in the United States when you also need to be diversified. Diversification is very important. And so you don't want to solely rely on the United States. That's bananas, right? You want to be able to diversify your portfolio and invest in other countries as well, okay? So that's vitally important. And so we're going to begin to have those tough conversations where you can remove the fear and the doubt, and you can be able to branch off and leverage other people's expertise so that you are able to diversify your investment portfolio. So with that being said, we are going to conclude our workshop for July, and I want you guys to know that I want you to have the most amazing, amazing, amazing weekend, and we will see you Monday at 7. And we absolutely love you so much, and we appreciate all of you. And just give us a ring, whatever it is that you need. Just know that it's an entire team, okay? So it's not just me. There's multiple, people involved just to assist you with getting to the finish line, but you don't have to rush to get to the finish line, but we will hold your hand through the process. So without further ado, we are going to adjourn our workshop, And I love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. And you guys have a blessed rest of your weekend and the beginning of your weekend. And we will see you next week. Okay. So just, go ahead and click the link that says calendar of events so that you can stay in, what am I trying to say? You can stay in tune with what we have upcoming. All right, I think it's time for me to eat. Anyways, I love you guys. Bye, everyone. Have an amazing weekend.